All right, fellas, I don't even have a joke for this. Just take a look at your screen right now. This is the joke right here. This is the whole thing. Just really look at this image, sit back, soak it all in, and ask yourself, how did we get here? How did it end up like this? Imagine you decide to dedicate your life to raising a family, and you have a son, and you raise him the best that you can for 25, 30 years, and then you end up seeing him doing this, what this guy is doing right here. I've got so many questions about this. So first of all, does he know her? I hope he does, because even though there's nothing about this that can make this good, it would be a lot worse if this dude was out here doing this by himself. So what I would have to guess is that he probably knows her and the dude is trying to get some pussy, which if that's the case, I really, truly hope this works out for you. I do, man, because this picture is now on the internet. People have seen it, and if you did this and you didn't get some pussy, that's just gonna be a fucking walking, talking L at this point. It didn't have to be like this. It really didn't. Like, there are other steps that you can do to get laid, my dude. Like, look, okay? He's already got the height, okay? You're like 6 foot plus, so that's a plus right there. Shave your head, because that hairline ain't it, all right? It's over. It's too late for that department. So just be an alpha male, accept it, shave your head, okay? Trim the beard down to like a 3 or a 5 with a trimmer. And then lose the school shooter wireframe glasses, and trust me, dude, you do all that and then you just walk around and don't be a weirdo, and I promise you, you will not have to resort to going to protests carrying a fucking men are trash sign around trying to impress women. And that being said, I now pose the question to you, who is worse off, this guy or this woman's husband?
Me explaining what hotwifing is, I would not have believed you. But since it's so taboo and nobody ever talks about it, I will. So I'll give you the straight definition from dictionary.com. It says a hotwife is a married woman who has sexual relationships outside of her marriage with the full knowledge and consent of her husband, who himself does not have relationships with other people or whatever. It says affairs, but it's not an affair.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
God damn. All right, fellas, welcome back. So recently I have had my world cracked open in a new way when I discovered this new thing called Hotwifing. Maybe it's not new, but it's new to me. So this kind of reminds me of when I discovered Findom last year. If you guys were around the channel, like, that was just a whole new part of life, you know? It's a checkpoint and you can't really go back once you know that it exists. So I'm sure we're going to be having other videos about this, but this will be our first topic covering hotwifing. So hotwifing is when you give your wife permission to go out and bang whatever dude of their or your choosing, or some combination of, from what I understand. And it's totally cool with you as the husband because you want them to do that for some reason, but simultaneously you are not allowed to do that with other women, is the way I understand it. Now, maybe there's variations out there, but I figured this story would be a good way to kind of soft dive into this topic. We don't want to go too far all at once, so let's take a look at this story. And real quick, I just want to give a shout out to one of my YouTube pals here at GCP who dropped this into my DMs. I'll link his channel below, guys. It'd mean the world if you could go show him some love. He's been doing YouTube a really long time, makes great videos, and if you like what you see, make sure to drop him a sub, tell him I sent you. So without further ado, let's get into it, fellas. If you are new, make sure you subscribe right now, or else you have a very high chance of having a small dick. Also, turn on your goddamn notifications so that you can be a part of the buzz every single time a new video goes live. And last but not least, of course, watch the entire video. Don't be a bitch. Alright, fellas, so the headline says, I'm a proud hotwife. I'm married, but have relationships with other men. My husband loves it even though he's faithful to me. A woman has detailed her swinging lifestyle with her husband, who loves the idea of her having relations with other men. The woman, aged 22, describes herself as a hotwife, which is when the woman freely sleeps with men outside of her marriage with the consent of her husband. So first thing that grabs my eye about this, 22, I just feel is pretty damn young to be into something like this. You know what I mean? Like, 22 is kind of young to be married, I feel, nowadays at least. Maybe not back in like the 70s or 80s or whatever, but if it's 2021, you're 22 years old and you're doing stuff like that just strikes me as odd for some reason. I know being swingers is a thing and all, and I just feel that stuff like this has to develop over like years of marriage for some reason. Like, this is like a sugar daddy, sugar baby type of thing. Like, what rich people do. The keys in the fishbowl, you know what I mean? It just seems weird for like what I suspect to be newlyweds, like probably within the first couple of years of marriage, to be into some shit like this. She details her swinging ways in a series of clips on TikTok, insisting that she and her husband are happily married and that she sleeps with other men for him. What the fucking fuck?
Hotwifing is usually not chosen by the women, it is by the man. I would say that it's actually never chosen by the woman.
She said her man had asked for over a year for her to start sleeping with other men, but at first she wasn't comfortable with the idea. A condition of being a hot wife, though, is that the relationship doesn't go beyond casual hookups, and at least that's what she and her husband agreed to. Hotwifing is usually not chosen by the woman, it is by the man. It's technically the guy's fantasy. God, guys, never give up, I suppose, right? He asked for over a year and finally got what he wanted. Like, congrats, I guess. It's crazy how she says she wasn't comfortable with the idea at first. Like, guys, if your girl asked you to do this, wouldn't you be like, hold up a sec, wait, like this gotta be some kind of setup, right? It would just completely take me off guard. I don't know how I would react if I were asked to do that. I feel like a lot of guys out there, especially if you're single, would be like, oh, that sounds like a dream come true if your wife asked you to do that. But when it comes down to it, you're really like, you're doing some weird shit, and I just feel there's so much risk to fuck up your marriage. I don't know what you get out of this, but this could just simply never be me. I'm sure it can never be you, and some dudes are built different, and it's not in a good way, guys. It's not in a good way.
I've only had 3 partners outside of my husband, and all of them were very spread apart. And kind of like usually when I stop with one, like I don't go back. So when people question like why I say I do it for him, or when they say, oh, you don't enjoy the experience outside. Of course I do, but the thing is I would rather be with my husband 100% of the time.
All right, guys, by a show of hands in the comments section down below, who believes this, right? Who believes you're married, this is the last person you should ever normally be with, but you've ended up in this bizarre situation where you're doing this whatever favor for your husband, right? Does anybody believe her when she says she would rather be with her husband 100% of the time? I'm sorry. I just, as much as I want to believe that, I just simply can't fucking believe that. And also, do you think her husband believes that? Or do you think he wants to believe that? Like, there's so many other dynamics at play here. If this is something that he wishes to happen, does he also want her to want the other dude more? Maybe just in the moment, maybe in the long run, maybe only when he wants her to. You can't play with feelings like this. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it's so dangerous to do something like this, because a marriage is supposed to be this, you know, sacred bond, and breaking that even once, even just to fool around, it has potential to go south. He may think he's all set and everything's fine and dandy and she's not going to catch feelings for one of the other dudes, but how could you possibly say that you know that for sure? Forever, too, right? You guys are in your early 20s.
When I get into the mindset of hotwifing, I'm in the mindset, so it doesn't really affect the experience. But if I want to say no, I can say no, and I don't have to do it if I don't want to.
I wonder how many times she said no, and I don't even mean that in a smart-ass way. I'm genuinely wondering, like, if you've already agreed that you got this free pass system and that the other person not only is okay with it, but actually likes it, and you're an attractive young woman and could pretty much just go out and get whatever dude you want right on the spot. How many times do you think she said no? Also, it'll just always be that easy, right? If you gave a dude permission to do this, it'd probably take him weeks of work to put in, but you know how the old saying goes.
These females are not living on recruit difficulty.
And also vice versa, which it doesn't happen where I ask and then he says no, because I've never asked. But if I ask at some point and he says no, he says no. Some other people said, like, if he changed his mind and didn't want to do it anymore, would you stop? Of course I would stop. But again, I can only speak for myself.
She insists they are just like any other normal married couple with kids, but hotwifing has made them stronger and happier as a couple. Oh my god, there's kids involved with this. I don't even have the energy. Let's just wrap this shit up. Answering a question from a follower, the 22-year-old admitted that most of her family know about her unconventional marriage and actually most follow her on TikTok. She said, none of them are very judgmental at all. I told almost everybody in my family, it's not something we talk about, but yeah, they do know. Yeah, I'm sure nobody is being judgmental. Nobody's talking shit about this behind their back. No one. Yeah, it's not possible. Of course they fucking are. What is this? And also, why would you tell your family about this in the first place? This is such a thing that you should really try to keep on the down low instead of putting out on the internet, first of all. But telling your family? It's just something that your family just doesn't have to know about. I really do want to know, though. I guess my final question of the day would be, does his family know? Because once again, if I was his dad, and I knew that he was having his wife do this, I would view him 1,000 times lower than even this fucking loser from the beginning of the video right here. Well, guys, goddamn, that is the end of the video here. It was a lot to unpack, it really was, and I told you at the beginning of the video, this is your whole world cracked open now. This is the type of thing that you've always just made jokes about, or you only thought was in really over-the-top parody videos in movies on the hub when you watch him in the beginning, right? Anyway, this could just simply never be me. I know it could simply never be you either, so you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'm sure the fellas will have much to say about all this. I look forward to reading your responses as always. If you enjoyed the video or were absolutely horrified by it, then do not forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome, amazing videos just like this. Turn your goddamn notifications so that you could be a part of the buzz every single time a new video goes live. A special thank you to my channel members as always for your extra support. You guys are the true MVPs. Check out dyfo merch down below. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, second channel. Links to everything is in the description. And I will see you dudes in the next video. Love you, bye. Stay safe, fellas. For real. Yo, Captain Clutch. You wish you were cracked.
Yeah, baby. Yeah? Yo, say less, bro.
Alright.
Keep that same energy, bro. Shut the
Bet.
music off. I'm focused
Bet.
on this round and piss
Go
on
ahead.
real
Shut
quick.
off your dog shit
You're
music.
mad weird, bro. Come underneath the office.
Bro. So ass. Look at you.
Yo, Captain Clutch. Why'd you get mad when I killed you?
Because you're
I heard you raging in the death chat.
Ah,
that was easy. Wow, triggered.
W,
Yo,
bro.
Captain
W,
Clutch.
Eddie Navarro. W.
Remember that time you told us to keep that same energy? And then I did keep that same energy? And now you're fucking losing?
Go ahead.
Yikes. That could never be me. That could simply never be me. You're a loser. Be quiet.
Yeah, he's on it. He's on
Bottom,
it.
eh?
Let me 725 his ass.
I think he's in garage.
Alright, so who's getting pissed on in a 1v1? No shotguns, because that's
Captain
all you're
Clutch,
Dude,
bro.
just
You sound like a
lost.
fucking clown.
No point.
Listen
Yeah,
how
you
mad
were
you
pissed on, I
are.
felt it,
You were
bro.
the one out there
I
telling
already
us
said
keep
it.
that same energy. I kept that same energy, and you fucking lost.
I felt it,
Stay
bro.
mad,
He kept
loser.
this
You're a
energy and
loser.
won. It's
Oh,
insane.
and you went negative? Yikes. 6 and 8?
Oh, man.
Yikes.
We really
Big
kept this
mad.
energy just to
Big
shit on
mad.
you.
You guys are
You're
big mad.
scared.
Shut the fuck up. You're losers.
You're scared.
Get back in your locker,
You're
kid.
scared.
Fucking
Go to
nerds.
bed.
Shut up.
Je